Hello and welcome to the second BitTech Gamecast. Today we're going to be taking a look at the much anticipated Battlefield Bad Company 2. Follow-up to obviously the very famous Battlefield series on PC. My name is Harry Butler. Today with me is Anthony Leather.
Hello.
And okay, let's get started. We're going to be looking at some footage from the start of the third level.
McGuire's place, up there.
Hell of a firefight here. I guess some of these...
So the first thing that struck me was when I saw you playing this morning. The graphics do look really, really good.
Yeah, this is running from the much talked about Frostbite engine, which was originally developed for the next gen consoles. But the way they've adapted it for the PC is to be honest, really, really good. The kind of graphical level you're seeing here, this is the game set to medium, and on low it's pretty representative of what you'll see on consoles, and there's also the option of going further up to high. We run this on medium just for playability reasons. We can get a nice smooth frame rate. The test hardware we were using wasn't totally top end, but with a decent graphics card, this game really can look absolutely stunning. It's almost Crysis-esque with all the foliage and all the plants and trees all around it, isn't it?
And we're seeing some of the destructible environment stuff going on in there as well.
Yeah, it's got obviously a fully integrated physics engine, pretty similar to the one that you saw in Crysis, to be quite honest, where much of the environment is destructible. And you see that, whoa!
Yeah.
The sandbag wall took a grenade to the face there, so probably exploded. Well, probably collapsed. Like Crysis, not absolutely everything is destructible. Really big trees and super strong concrete walls won't blow up. But you'll see later with the if you have explosives like the 40mm grenade launcher or rocket launcher, you can blow holes in walls.
Punches through most things.
Yeah, blow holes in walls, demolish entire buildings.
Yeah. So this means
it's pretty damn cool.
So what this means is basically you can't camp anywhere. So it's like you're a sniper, you've got an RPG on your back or something like that, and you can't hide anywhere for long because you'll just get nailed inside a building.
Yeah, well, we're looking at the single player here, but in the multiplayer, that's absolutely true. The whole idea of destructible cover is really good, and especially the fact that the game uses what you typically think of as non-destructible cover. Oh, that was a nice shot. Non-destructible cover, like, for example, concrete walls or something, and like, nope, they blow up just the same as pretty much everything else. I think I'm getting attacked by this boat. Yeah, the boat. The boat's firing grenades at me, so I bravely run away.
Yeah. This
forest
does look really good, doesn't it? You see the light coming through the trees, the mist and things. It does look really good.
Yep. Yeah, the graphics are excellent. Definitely.
You're saying it wasn't too demanding? You're playing this on a sort of mediocre system?
Yeah, mid-range system. I think this is on a GTX 260. So annoying. I got a clean hit on him there. Why didn't he explode? I'd probably reload and miss him loads.
So we're seeing a fair amount of bullet drop on there. So it's
it's all part of the as I said, the game's inbuilt physics has a full kind of gravity system as well. So rounds fall in bullets and rockets. All
so
that
you have to account for bullet drop, and you have to lead your bullets with the sniper rifle and things.
Absolutely, so. It's in that essence, it's a lot less arcadey than obviously recent popular shooters like. Sorry, almost hit him again. Almost like, for example, like Modern Warfare 2, where there's very little in-game physics and the environment is quite cold and immobile. Here, the environment is as much a tool or a weapon as anything else, and you can bring buildings down on top of enemies.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, obviously, games like Battlefield 2, previous Battlefield games that people have played, I didn't find it was quite as realistic and snappy as they are. But obviously, this is a very different game.
I think snappiness. I think. Bad Company 2 probably has the edge, just simply because it's running a much more optimized, much more modern netcode. You don't have to lead your bullets quite so ridiculously as you had to in Battlefield 2. It kind of strikes the balance between arcade and simulation quite nicely. I mean, you can take a few bullets and tanks drive around. And, so you're here in the single player, your four-man kind of team just plow their way through hundreds of enemies. It's no milsim like Armour, for example.
Yeah. So it's kind of in between Armour and maybe COD in that respect.
I think it strikes a nice. Yeah. It's not about realism. It's about fun. The game is very much obviously it's been balanced for fun. There you go. So, and I think that's a genuine. Those who have played the multiplayer beta will probably.
Yeah, it did feel very balanced, even though the teams and the levels are obviously a bit smaller than previous Battlefield games that I've played. It seemed to strike that balance, and you have to keep moving, especially in the was it the rush mode with the MCOM stations and that.
Yep, there's a couple of multiplayer modes, and one of the new ones is Rush, where you have to destroy MCOM stations. And yeah, it's a very well balanced game in regards to the multiplayer. Vehicles aren't so omnipotently, over-destructively powerful as they might have been in the past. This area, this sort of sequence here is quite usually found in the single-player kind of campaign, where you have an area of combat and then have a more relaxed area where you'll just be driving or moving around, and then there'll be another sort of bit of combat. It kind of breaks it up nicely, so you can get some. Well, so the writers could do something with with the four main characters. Yeah.
So this the single player mode, do you reckon it's a lot more playable than the single player modes we've seen in the past, like Battlefield 2, where it's just bots and
it's really good
not
actually.
Particularly fun.
Yeah, in the past Battlefield games have had a really poor. They've been entirely multiplayer based, and the single player has just been the multiplayer with rubbish bots. Here, there's actually no skirmish option at all, so they haven't even bothered to write AI netcode for the multiplayer aspect of the game. Instead, you get a fully fledged single player experience, just like you would with any other multiplayer game, like any Call of Duty game or Medal of Honor game. And then, as well as that, you get the sort of like the famous Battlefield multiplayer experience tacked on as well. Or not even tacked on. It's a nice little bundle there. Yeah.
So I think I remember you saying at some point that the your health in this one is regenerative.
Yeah. The single player, as I said, because the single player is so much different to the multiplayer, and you're not going to have one of your squad mates running around with a health kit going, "Here, take first aid."
Yeah, and equally the
multiplayer
bots in the single player in previous games were absolutely useless as well for reviving.
Never actually give you anything. So in the single player here, it's all regenerative health, and then in the multiplayer, you need to be healed up by your teammates. So the single player and multiplayer are entirely different games. It's the multiplayer is much more vehicle emphasis and very much on objective based, whereas and pretty much you pick the tools that you want to use to accomplish your objectives. The single player is a lot more linear, and you can still use all the tools you want to at your disposal, but it's much more funneling you down a path.
There don't seem to be that as many vehicles on this as the beta that we've been playing recently either.
No, I can only speak for the first few levels in the game, but it's much more of an infantry shooter than a vehicle shooter.
Okay.
This is how you I'm going to reload my rocket launcher here. And the magical crate. Okay, rocket launcher time. So as I said, the inbuilt physics engine is really cool, and you can, as I said, if enemies are in buildings, don't shoot the enemies, just blow up the buildings. And I somehow managed to fail to blow up the building.
Must have ricocheted or something.
It was a dud. Boom.
Boom!
There we go.
There you go.
So one of my teammates has already done the business on this one over here. But the destructible environments are really good fun, and unlike in Crisis, when you blow up a building and it starts to come down, your entire system does not grind to a halt. It kind of does everything really smoothly, and the Frostbite engine has to be given props for that. It does the whole destructible environment thing really well. It still has penetrable materials here as I finish that guy through the wood.
Yeah, it's like the whole environment's very porous, so it's going to be very. I found that I was getting killed so much in Battlefield Bad Company 2. I mean, I was killing a lot as well, but in the beta. But it was. I think it's very hard to kind of stay still for any length of time without getting killed.
It makes you think. So we've got loading up a little bit of a PBR here. We've got some cool grenade launcher on it, and I'm just going to show some of the destructible environment. So mowing down the trees. Those who have played the beta will know. You've got to take out the trees.
Take out the trees. They've got nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising how little the single player game is made of something like these vehicle sequences. But I think it's because against AI, vehicles are very powerful.
Mm.
In the multiplayer, it's okay. There's so many different ways that you can do that. You can take out a vehicle, whereas in the single player, it's easily open to abuse. As I'm doing here by pounding the lumberyard with lots of grenades.
Oh, that's trees going down. Nice.
Having to proceed on foot though here. I see you. Aha. So you have these kind of these three squad mates that follow you around, and I think well, from what I played, they actually balance out quite well. They put covering fire down, and they will take out enemies, but they still leave plenty of targets for you, so they don't feel entirely useless. Kind of like, I know AI squad mates usually tend to be either ridiculously overpowered or
Yeah.
completely useless. And these ones, they do tend to hang back a bit. You can see on the radar in the bottom left corner.
So they're sort of letting you sort of
yeah,
take the lead, and
take
things.
the point.
Yeah. Okay.
But they do back you up quite well as well. I'm quite chuffed with this. You've got a truck here.
I was going to say rocket launcher.
Oh.
Whee.
So, as I said, it's fully destructible environments here. I could take down pretty much anything that you can see here with the rocket launcher, apart from the thicker trees. It really does give you that kind of that extra option.
Mm.
No door, make one door.
Yeah, the bloom and the lighting on this is really good as well.
This is the integrated physics. You see all the boxes flying away there. Gunning down ethnic people of various origins. Yep, they're Americans. Using the cover here quite nicely. This sort of sequence is it is more of a it handles the sort of, despite being a vehicle-based game, it handles the kind of on-rail shooter aspect in the sort of point gun here, kill bad guy X. Really quite well. It feels snappy. It feels responsive.
Yeah, I think that's a trait of most of the Battlefield games I played. I know that I mainly played Battlefield 2 on the infantry only mode, and even though the game was designed to have vehicles in it, it still lends itself to the the street fighting, and
it still holds up really well as some of the infantry combat game.
Yeah, definitely. So,
got a bit lost here.
So we've seen like a forest scene in this single player snapshot that we're looking at, and the beta was obviously like a snowy scene. How many other levels are there in the full game? Is it sort of
the multiplayer aspect of the game is kind of based around this bit where you're kind of at the United States are in a war with Russia in Alaska and Russian-backed Central American allies along the Mexican border. So pretty much any locale in that area, it'll follow that. So you're fighting in Alaska and the deserts of Mexican deserts and sort of jungle and tropical places like this. So there's a decent variety. It's nice to not be fighting in the Middle East for once.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, I think embarrassment is imminent. I kind of botched this rather badly. I tried to hide here, but no prone, as you'll find out in the review. There's no prone in the game. I promptly die. Oh well. Well, thanks for listening. We hope that's given you a taste for Battlefield Bad Company 2. Check out the full review on bittech.net. And that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Okay. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.